Okay, so this is our topic, the highway alignment and survey. So before previous lecture, we discussed about the different survey. In that, the reconnaissance survey, ground reconnaissance survey, then preliminary survey, and now we are to discuss the next. So this is all about the list of that survey we are going to conduct during the fixing while fixing the alignment, reconnaissance survey, preliminary survey, central line, determination of central line, final location survey, traffic survey, soil and material survey, drainage survey, preparation and presentation of project document. So we already covered the first four: reconnaissance survey, preliminary survey, determination of central line in the office, design office, and final location survey. Okay, so reconnaissance survey, in that we find out the character of that area, particular area which is proposed for the alignment, and for that we do the topographical survey. In that we collect the topographical data. After that we collect the data from the ground reconnaissance survey. In that also we study the topography of the area, then what is the length, and what are the communication means, existing means available, then what is the terrain available, then what is the geology of that area, what is the climatic conditions available, and what are the resources available in that area. So this all data we collect in the reconnaissance survey. After that we do the preliminary survey. So preliminary survey, it is nothing but the major survey, and that is for the road construction. So according to the alignment we have to carry out the road survey, and you can use different equipments. Theodolite you can use for the measurement of angle, and tachometer and chain you can use. Metallic tables you can use for the distance measurement. So you can carry out the road traverse survey in the preliminary survey. After that, determination of final central line. So on the basis of preliminary survey data, few alternative alignment we have to select, and out of that alignment we have to fix the one alignment which satisfying engineering, aesthetic and economical requirement. And for that particular selected alignment, trail line is drawn, which taking into consideration railway crossing and drainage crossing. For that particular alignment, we required to study the horizontal alignment with profile is carried out. Horizontal curve we have to design for that particular central line. Also, the vertical curve we have to design for that particular central line, and we have to determine the profile. After that, we do the final location survey. So, final location survey, it is a alignment finalized at design office. After the preliminary survey is to be first located on the field by establishing the center line. Location survey, transferring the alignment onto the road. Okay, so whatever that final alignment we have selected, that going to be transferred over the road, and you can use transit theodolite for that survey. So that is the final location survey where we are into fixing the alignment on the field. Also, major and minor control points are established on the ground. Center pegs are driven, checking the geometric design requirements. Okay. So this all you can carry it out at the detailed survey. Okay. After that, you can carry out the traffic survey and soil survey. So traffic survey is again very important. Traffic survey. So traffic survey, information about the traffic is important since it forms the basis for the design of pavement fixing and the number of traffic lanes, also the economical appraisal of project. So from the traffic survey or from the traffic data, you can find out how much the number of traffic lanes you can provide, design of the pavement and economical appraisal of the project. So this data you can collect from the traffic survey. Also, the traffic survey may be in the nature of traffic counts. Okay, on the rural highway, 7 days traffic counts once or twice a year for as many years as possible should be gathered. Suppose if accident record are maintained, they form a good basis for the design and improvement in accident prone location. So accidental data available, that also helpful to for the designing and improvement in accident prone location. Most of this information is the domain of traffic engineering. Okay, so this about the traffic survey, traffic data. After that, next one is soil and material survey. So after the selection of the final center line of the road, investigation for the soil and other material required for the construction should start. Okay, so are the local material available or not, that should be checked, and what quality of soil available, you have to check, or you have to analyze the characteristics of that soil. Okay, so this survey is required to study the soil profile for the design of the embankment and pavement. Okay, so again you can use the proper methods for the handling of soil. To assess the type of soil, you require to collect the soil from the test pit and should be tested for the gradation. Okay, so these are the different tests that you have to required carried out over the soil. So what are that? The first one is a gradation, next one is a liquid limit, next one is a plastic limit, next one is optimum moisture content. Okay, so what is mean by liquid limit? What is the use of liquid limit? What is the objective of that test? The value of liquid limit is used to classify fine grained soil. Okay, so that liquid limit you can use to classify the fine grained soil. It gives us information regarding the state of consistency of soil on site. Okay, so whatever the consistency of soil on site, that you can identify by the liquid limit test. Liquid limit of soil can be used to predict the consolidation properties of soil while calculating allowable bearing capacity and settlement of the foundation. That is the significance and importance of the liquid limit of soil. Next one is the plastic limit of soil. So determination of plastic limit is also as important as liquid limit. Okay, the plastic limit of a soil is the moisture content expressed as a percentage of the weight of oven dry soil at the boundary between the plastic and semi-solid state of consistency. So the plastic limit is also important as a liquid limit test. Next one is optimum moisture content. The optimum moisture content and maximum dry density, OMC, optimum moisture content, and maximum dry density, that is called as MDD. These both terms are related. So when placing soil as a fill material, it is important to achieve suitable compaction, primarily in order to reduce the susceptibility of soil to the settlement. That means optimum moisture content you have to check so that you can use compaction to avoid the settlement of the soil. Okay, so that optimum moisture content, OMC, or either you can say optimum water content, is the moisture content at which soil attains the maximum dry density. Okay, what is that? OMC, optimum moisture content, is the moisture content at which the soil attains the maximum dry density. This optimum moisture content value is with respect to the specific amount of compaction energy applied to the soil. So this is about the optimum moisture content, and the next one is the gradation. So gradation, it is nothing but the sieve analysis. So sieve analysis or gradation test is one of the most basic procedure in civil engineering to determine the particle size distribution of a given sample, mostly the sand. The gradation test is majorly used for the design purpose, and the particle gradation of sand indicates the size and size distribution of sand. So these are the significance and importance of these various tests. Gradation test, you can classify the soil, liquid limit test, and plastic limit test, and optimum moisture content. For low embankment, suppose you have to design for a low embankment. In that case, the soil having liquid limit of about 40, acceptable, a plasticity index of 10, acceptable, and shrinkage limit of more than 10% is okay. These characteristics are okay for the design of low embankment. And that quality of soil, it is nothing but a murum soil, sandy soil, or stabilized black cotton soil. And that quality of soil will be alright for the low embankment design. Suppose you want to design for a high embankment. So for high embankment, special investigation will be required for the design. Okay, so some problems of embankment construction and design. So these are the various problems that occurred during the design of embankment or construction of embankment. So what are that? So basically it is divided into three categories. The first one is routine cases, next one is special cases, and next one is exceptional cases. Okay, so what is the routine cases? In which embankments of low to high heights are constructed over a farm. That is the regular routine cases. Special cases, these cases where the embankment material which is relatively unfavorable such as silt and clay. So it's critical to construct embankment. That case is called as special cases where the soil is silty and clay. Next one is exceptional cases. The embankment over a long distance on marine clays, tidal swamp and pits and creeks, where the design over the creeks and tidal swamp, that is the exceptional cases where the drainage conditions critical causing instability and post-construction settlement. So where the settlement occurs and instability occurs, that case is called as exceptional cases. So routine cases, regularly construction, special cases where silty and clays, and exceptional cases where the tidal swamp and creeks, marine clays. Okay. So suppose these when designing highway embankment over a difficult foundation condition, the designer could choose one of the several alternatives that are available to him. So there are various alternatives available during that cases. So any of that he can use for the construction of embankment. So in that case, he can use elevated viaduct, he can use embankment fill support on piles, he can use excavation and replacement of subsoil. Again, he can use subsoil stabilization by using various alternatives. Adhesive you can use to the soil and you can stabilize the soil. So that is subsoil stabilization. Then construction of embankment with berms, that is roadside. Then relocation of alignment, either you can shift the alignment. Next, displacement of weak soil by surcharge, weight or blasting. You can do the blasting or you can add a surcharge. Next, use of lightweight material as such as a cinder for embankment construction. So these are the various alternative materials which you can use during the designing problem of embankment. Okay, what are that? Elevated viaduct, embankment fill support on piles, excavation and replacement of subsoil, subsoil stabilization, construction of embankments with berms, relocation of alignments, displacement of weak soil by surcharge, weight or blasting, or use of lightweight material such as cinder for embankment construction. So these are the various alternatives you can use, that means designer can use during the difficult foundation condition. Next topic, that is drainage study and realignment project and preparation and presentation of project document, that we discuss the next topic.